Namaste and a warm welcome to everyone. On behalf of Ashirwad Health and Education Trust, I extend a heartfelt welcome to all our participants, especially our speaker and scholars, for joining today for the second Manaswasthya free webinar, part of our ongoing monthly learning series. We are honored by the presence of our respected speaker, Vaidya and scholar, Sri Abhijeet Saraf ji, and we warmly welcome all dignitaries, teachers, and practitioners to this evening. As with all our Manaswasthya initiatives, today's session is conducted as a tribute to Krishna Kumarji, whose vision, integrity, and deep commitment to Ayurveda as a living, thinking tradition continues to guide the work of Ashirwad Health and Education Trust. Many of us were part of the International Symposium on Manaswasthya held in July 2025, a landmark gathering that brought together Vaidya's psychologists, scholars, and students to reflect deeply on Manaswasthya and positive psychology. So this monthly Manaswasthya webinar series is a natural continuation of that dialogue. And those who guide us for that event, Sri Malaji and the Vaidya Abhijeet Sarji is today with us. I once again feels extremely grateful that they could join us for this session. We hope that continuing these sessions to revisit the classical concept, examine clinical realities, and nurture thoughtful engagement with mental health in Ayurveda. So again, today's session promises clarity, depth, and clinical wisdom from our speaker. Brief introduction. Actually, Vaidya Abhijeet Saraf does not need any introduction in the current spectrum of Ayurveda scholars. But again, he is the professor and HOD of Department of Basic Principles in AAC and H Nashik, and he is the founder president of Agastya Foundation. He is a PhD gold medalist and MS in psychotherapy, and is an expert in Charaka Samhita and Ayurvedic fundamentals. With around 20 years of experience, he has authored more than 10 books and published over 100 articles and research papers, and he has delivered many lectures globally. He is skilled in Sanskrit and ancient scripts like Brahmi and Sharda. He is a respected PG and PhD guide. And as the founder of Agastya Foundation, he advocates healthcare education and service, and he has earned many prestigious awards for his work in Ayurveda. So, sir, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. Share your wisdom on Manaswasthya today, the text to practice.
Thank you very much. Shall we start?
Yes, sure, sir.
ब्रह्मदक्षाश्विदेवेश भरद्वाज पुनर्वसु हुताशवेश चरक प्रभृतिभ्यो नमो नमः सहस्राक्षं गणाधीशं स्वं गुरुं च सरस्वतीं जनकं जनयित्रीं च शास्त्रादौ प्रणमाम्यहम्. Today we are gathered here for the second session on Manaswasthya clinic, classics to clinic, and as this is a vast subject, I will try to speak on only 2 to 3 points which are very important in our clinical practice also, and it is having some gross effect throughout the Samhita, because Manaswasthya or mental health is a very important topic, yet it is an undiscussed topic. In any seminar, webinar, or anything anywhere in the lecture related to the Manaha, we always talk about Manas Vikara and the treatment of Manas Vikara. But the description or the thought process about Manaswasthya is very much neglected. And that's why today we are deliberately stick to the Manaswasthya only and not with Manas Vikara. Because Manas Vikara is another thing and Manaswasthya is another thing. We all know that Ayurveda have two prayojanas, that is Swasthasya Swasthya Rakshanam and Aturasya Vikara Prashamana. And today we will discuss about only Swasthasya Swasthya Rakshanam. Aturasya Vikara Prashamanam is not the adhikaran of today's our session. Maybe one or two references or some thought processes can be discussed here about the Atura Prashamanam, but more focus will be on Swasthasya Swasthya Rakshanam. I will share the screen. I'm not a believer of giving a talk with the help of PPTs. I like to show the original Samhitas and the thought processes according to the Samhitas. So I will try to think about. Let me share. हे कसं करायचं रे? तू हे जात नाही हे खाली येत आहे. Okay, but before going into that our main topic, I want to show one very rare reference that whichever literature related to Ayurveda is available to us in today's era is not a literature of discussion of Hetulinga Aushadha of Manas. Yes, I am speaking very much correct and according to the Chakrapani Datta. These Samhitas, Charak Samhita, Sushrut Samhita, Kashyap Samhita, Ashtang Hridaya, Ashtang Sangraha, and all other Sangraha Granthas are the textbooks or the classical text Samhitas of Sharira Vyadhi, not the Manas Vyadhi. And here is the reference. The reference is in Charak Samhita Sutrasthana, chapter 1st, Sutra number 57. And they are describing that. See, the reference I highlighted it. Manasa dosham aha, manasaha punaha ityadi. पुनः शब्दो अवधारणे तेन मानस उद्दिष्ट एव परम न शारीर दोषवत् प्रपंचिताः. In this text, as we have discussed the sharira dosha prapancha, means we have discussed the visheshan of doshas, sharir doshas, vata pitta shleshma, and their many other anshansha kalpana and their vyadis and their treatment we had discussed in 120 chapter. But Manasa doshas are not described in detail. They have some 2-3 references or maybe 20 or 30 references, but they are not the in-depth description. Next, he is saying that Manasa doshanam asmin tantre kaya chikitsa rupe aprastavikatvat iti bhava. Means they kaya chikitsa is different and manasa chikitsa is different. Kaya means body, sharira, and that's why the description, detailed Hetulinga Aushadha Swarupa description is not available, or we are not doing that in this text, as Chakrapani is saying. If someone is saying that, then the Unmada and Apasmara are described. But Unmada and Apasmara are not the pure Manas Vyadis. They are Sharir Manas or Manas Sharir Vyadis. So, only a Tattva Bhinivesha is described. So, please keep in mind that there must be some another text to describe which where they had a description of Manasa Swasthya, Manasa Vikara, and Hetulinga Aushadha of Manaswasthya and Manas Vikara. What we have description in Charak Samhita that I will show in this same chapter. Hetulinga Aushadha Jnanam Swasthatura Parayanam. This sutra is here. See, Hetulinga Aushadam Jnanam, Swasthatura Parayanam, Trisutram Shashvatam. So, Hetulinga Aushada about Sharira Swasthya and Sharira Vyadhi is the main description of this Charak Samhita. Even Sushruti is described, the main Adhikaran is Shalya. That's why he is more deliberately describing the Sharira Vyadhis or the surgical Vyadhis. Ashtang Hridaya is Sangraha Grantha. Ashtanga Sangraha is Samhita. They are also the more focus on Kaya Chikitsa, that is the Sharir Vyadhis. So we don't have any description, detailed description of Manas Vyadhis and or Manasa Swasthya also, where they are. We found the descriptions where these there are only 7 to 8 points where we can find these descriptions. Why? Because mana is inside the sharir. Now mana is not separate nowadays. Means when that living anyone is human being is there, the atura is a living being. He is not a dead. So he has manas. And that's why mana is a have adhishthan in the sharira. And that's why at some point we have to describe the manas. But there is no such description of Manasa Swasthya and Manasa Vyadhis are described in any available text. So what we have to do? Shall we close the topic now? No. We have to describe along with the references which are already described in this available text. Also, we have to search in other contemporary sciences. When I was doing PhD, one of my senior, Dr. Vasanti Godse, she was also a student of my guide, but my senior, one batch senior, my guide was Dr. Sardeshmukh sir, SP Sardeshmukh sir, and her topic was assessment of Manasa Bhavas in the cancer patient. So she had the data. She had assessed the around 500-400 cancer patients, different cancer patients, and assessment of their Manas Bhavas. But when that data should be presented, we were struck at that we don't have any references. Only 3 to 4 references where the Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Shoka, Moha are described or their definitions we can found. But there is no description that how the Krodha has to be presented, how the Kama was presented, how the means what are the symptoms of Krodha, what are the symptoms of Kam, how we can assess them, how the symptoms of Dvesh, what are the symptoms of what we can say Matsarya, how we can assess them. There is no any no, we can't found any assessment. Means at that time we don't find, and it was not available at that time. We have now some points are there. Even Malaji had prepared a very huge questionnaire, and it's very efficient now. But that time we don't have that. So while reading the other contemporary sciences, we found 2 references, one in Sangita Ratnakaram and second in Bharata Natyashastra of Bharat Muni. And in both texts, they had described that Bharat Muni had described that if you want to show Krodha on the stage while playing a natak, while doing a play, how you will show the Krodh? There must be some kind of facial expression, some kind of manual expression, some kind of bodily expressions, and he had described it in Sanskrit language. Likewise, he had described the expression of Dvesh, Matsarya, Kam, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara, how you will express in the play on stage. We found that the that is exactly correlating to the expressions or that assessment of the patient, and we use that those sutras. So if likewise we have to use the contemporary references which are not in not the adhikarana of Ayurveda but other sciences like Sangeet or Natya Shastra or Kama Shastra. There afterward I had found some references in Vatsyayana Kama Sutra and Anangaranga. Some points I had found. So the Samhitas, there is there are very lack of references of Manasa Swasthya and Manasa Vikaras in available Ayurvedic Samhitas. You all know that manas have two qualities, that is Anutva and Ekatva. Anutva means it is having a Parmanu Swarupa. It is a Murta Bhav. Manas is not a Vibhu Dravya. It is having Paramanutva, means it is having Panchabhautikatva. Always there is a debate on Panchabhautikatva of Mana. Mana is a Panchabhautik or not. But in Ayurvedic Adhikaran, Manas is Panchabhautik because it is moving from one body to another body. And in the description of 9 Dravyas, there are 9 Dravyas, 5 Mahabhutas, Akash, Kal, Disha, Atma. And in those 9 Dravyas, 5 Dravyas are Murta Dravyas, that is Prithvi, Jala, Teja, Vayu and Man. And 4 Dravyas are Vibhu. Vibhu means it is all over in the universe. They don't have any certain some special places. There is everywhere. There is no such place that those Dravyas are not there. These are Akash, Atma, Kal and Disha. So Mana is not Sarvavyapi. Mana is having Murti and it is moving from one body to the another body. And that's why I want to speak about how the Karmash Vyadhis are related to Manas, but Karmash Vyadhis are different than the Manas Vyadhis. We will see that there is some line of demarcation in the Karmash Vyadhi, in the Manas Vyadhi, and it means hereditary diseases and congenital diseases. There are some demarcations. We will see the reference. It is in Sharirasthan, chapter number 2. Agnivesh has asked question that Katham Deham Upaiti Dehat, how the who is transferring from one body to another body? Who is transferring? Atma is moving everywhere, or who is moving? After the death, who is going outside the body? And in the birth or in the conception, who is entering in the ovum? That question is asked by Agnivesh, and Atreji had given its description in the sutra number 28. He had asked that question: Dehat Katham Deham Upaiti? Who is transferring, have a transportation from one body to another body? Give me answer. Now, in the 31 number sutra, Atreji is giving answer that Bhutaihi Chaturvihi Sahitaha Susukshmaihi Manojavo Deham Upaiti Dehat Karmatmakatvat Natu Tasya Drishyam Divyam Vina Darshanam Asti Rupam. Who is traveling from one body to another body? Atma is not traveling anywhere because Atma is everywhere already. It is Vibhu. It is each and every Sukshmati Sukshma places are there already. Atma is there. So who is everywhere? How he will travel from one place to another place? So he is not traveling anywhere. Atma is there only. So who is traveling? Who is then Sukshma Deha or Linga Deha? He is giving the description that Bhutaihi Chaturbihi. Now, if a person has died now, here in the death of person happen, who will travel? The Sukshma parts of 4 Mahabhutas, that is without Akasha, other 4 Mahabhutas and Mana, they will travel as a Linga Deha from one body to another body. Bhutaihi Chaturbihi Sahitaha Susukshmaihi Manojavo. What is Manojava? You know Manojavam, Marutulya Vegam, Jitendriyam Buddhi. Java means Gati. Java means Gati. So how they go? With the Gati of Manas. Man will be there because Mana is having that Gati. So Sushukshmai, see the Tika, Akasham Iha Akriyatvena Dehantara Gamana Karmani Noktam, because it is Vibhu, Akash. Manasa Javate iti Gacchati iti Manojava. Java means Gati. Etena Atmano Vyapakasya Yadyapi Dehantara Gati Nasti Tathapi Asya Manogati Eva Bhuta Sahita Gati Shabdena Uchchato. So who is traveling from one body to another body? mana is traveling. Why I am discussing this? Because in the treatment of manas vyadhi, in the treatment of karmash vyadhi, we have to think about it, and in the manaswasthya also we have to think about it. To maintain a manaswasthya or maintain the health of manas of any person, we have to think that the mana is not the part of his body. He is a traveler. He is he's travel from another body, and now he will travel from this body to another body. So if you want to reduce the manasa dukkha, I will show the references. If you want to, it's a part of counseling. I am a counselor also. I'm a professional counselor. I have degree of MS psychotherapy and psychological counseling and psychotherapy. I have studied that. In that there is a therapy named logotherapy. Please search about that therapy. Logotherapy is little bit correlated to our Ayurvedic principles. So what is the logotherapy? That you have to give that patient that your this birth is not the end of the universe. Don't feel that your death means the end. No, you have another life waiting for you from after this birth. So if you don't have any, if you have not fulfilled any your wish, please be with it. You can fulfill it in another birth, or you will take birth to fulfill those wishes. Also, if a person is suffering anything, not the actually patient, but if person and he want to maintain his manaswasthya, we have to counsel him that please don't worry. This is just a part of your that life ayu. What is ayu? Sharira indriya sattvatma sanyogo dhari jivitam nityagascha anubandascha. Anubandha is a synonym of ayu. What is anubandha? Only birth to death is not ayu. Ayu is there before even birth, and ayu will be there after the birth also, after the death also. Because after the death we have the gati, next gati is there, and after that gati we will take another birth, then the ayu will be continuously. So the ayu is anubandha. So your body can be replaced, like in Gita it is said that vasansa jirnani yatha vihaya anyani sayati namani dehi. Likewise we can throw that old body, but our mana is always ancient. We have same manas, whichever birth we have taken previously or whichever birth we will take, our mana will be the same. And that's why we have all the experiences, all the what we can say footprints of our previous births also on our manas. And that's why Charak had given a name in Sharira 4th, that Jatismar. That past life regression is now a booming thing. Past life regression. What is past life? Charak has described it. Jati smara. If you want to maintain your manasa swasthya, or if you want to have treatment of manas, any manas vyadhi or sharir vyadhi also, you can have unlock those jati smaranam, and then you will understand why you have this kind of suffering or why you have this kind of blessings in your life. So for Manaswasthya, this point, I think, which is not yet described in any lecture series. I think this is only second lecture, but I want to discuss this topic as to maintain that Manaswasthya, and counseling for that patient is very important, or that person is very important. Forget about patient, focus on the normal person, but he want to assess his Manaswasthya, or if he want to maintain his Manaswasthya. For that, this thing is very, very important. Next, in the same Sharir Sthan, in the 4th chapter, I think 4 to 13, they have described the 6 bhavas, what we can say, where the Atmaja, Pitruja, Matraja, vagare, vagare, etc. described. The 6 bhavas are there. So in that description, this Atmaja, Garbha, they are described. Garbha is also Atmaja. What is Atmaj? Atmaj means who is traveled from previous birth. That we can call this Jiva. Atma never travel. Jiva is traveling. It is just see the reference Sharir 3 by 8. And what are the Atmaja Bhavas of any birth? See, in the 10th Sutra, they have given the Atmaja Bhavas, and here you can find that Mana and Indriyani are Atmaja Bhavas. Means our Man is a traveler, our Indriya also travel along with the Man because they are associated with the Man. Sukshma Indriya, not the Adhishthanas. This nose, ear, tongue, or skin are not the Indriyas. They are the Adhishthanas. Indriyas are in the brain, in the Shiras. There are two references in the Samhita, one in Kiyanta Shirasiya, Sutrasthan 17, and Siddhi 9, Trimarmiya Siddhi. There are two references that all our Indriyas are resided in the Shiras. And modern science also says the same, that all the centers are in the brain. Respiratory center, olfactory centers, all optic centers are all in the brain. Like Ayurveda is also saying the same, that all the Indriyas, Karmendriya and Jnanendriya also are in the brain. And that's why Mana is not residing in the heart, what we can say the heart. He is residing in the Hridaya, means mid-brain, according to Bhel Samhita. It's Shirasthana. Shirasthan is describing. Bhela has described the sthan of Mana in Shira. That is Shirastha Rudayam, not his Hridaya. So when any couple, lovers, they says that this is a heart, no, this is not. That heart symbol is not the heart which is modern heart. This is a mid-brain symbol. Okay, so Mana is a Atmaja Bhav. It is travel from previous body to this another body, and it's a very important point for the counseling also and the treatment part also. Next is Mana have its own Srotas. Yes, Mana have its own Srotas. I will just show the reference as it is not the topic of discussion, but I want to show the reference. In the Apasmara Nidanam, because Apasmara is a Vyadhi of Sharir and Manas. See, here is a Doshaha Prakupitaha Rajastamobhyam Upahata Chetasam Antaratmanam Shreshtatamam Ayurveda Hridayam Upasrutya Uparatishthati Tathacha Indriya Ayatanani. Here they have described that doshas, Sharir doshas are will be get lodged in the Manovaha Srotas. They will be lodged in the Manovaha Srotas, and they will cause some disease state. In again the Unmada Nidanam, see, doshaha prakupitaha, because of the hetus, Hridayam upasrutya manovahani srotansi avrutya janayati unmada. So here Manovaha. Now for the Manaswasthya, we have to take this point that this is the Anukta Srotas. Manovaha Srotas is not described in the 13 Srotasas which is described by Charak, and the 22 Srotasas described by Sushrut. But they had given that these description of 13 Srotasas which is available in Srotoviman chapter are efficient for the description and understanding of Anukta Srotas. So for maintenance of the Manaswasthya, we have to think about it's that person's Manovaha Srotas should be clean and clear without any obstruction. So for that means if he is having any obstruction in the Manovaha Srotas of any vitiation in the Manovaha Srotas, he will having any kind of disturbed Manaswasthya. Its Manasa Swasthya will be disturbed. So how we can assess that? Like any other srotasas like Rasava Srotas, Raktava Srotas, Mausava Srotas, these srotas should be discussed, Manova Srotas. And in the Charak Samhita, Vimanasthanam, Srotas Adhyay number 5, in the Sutra number 6 and 7, they had given there are two types of Srotasas. One are the Ayana Bhutam and other are Ayana Bhutam, Adhisthana Bhutam cha. One Srota, part of Srotasas are only Ayana, means they will having only flowing, and other Srotasas are Ayana Bhutam and Adhisthana Bhutam cha. Please go to the Gangadhar Tika of this sutra. Gangadhar Tika of this sutra, and he has described two parts or two types of Srotasas. First is the Ayana Bhutam, and second is the Ayana Bhutam Adhisthana Bhutam cha. So this Manovaha Srotas is Ayana Bhutam Adhisthana Bhutam cha. Means it will having the flow of doshas also, but it will having the adhisthana of mana also there. And where it is, main adhisthana is in Hruday, that is Shirastha Hruday, and its flowing is everywhere. Because if any person is having have some touch feeling is here, if I had a very hot touch in my fingers now, what will happen? That adhishthan means skin will send the data to first sparshanendriyam, which is in the brain. Then that sparshanendriya will assess that data and it transfer that data to the mana. Mana is in midbrain. Then mana will reassess those data and then he will find there is some kind of threat. He will send this data to the buddhi. Buddhi is uha pohavati. And buddhi we have three parts: dhi, dhruti, smruti. Dhi will have grahanam, dhruti will have dharanam, smruti will have smaranam. So they will search all the files and then create a PDF or create a data sheet or the protocol and send it to the mana again to give order to the karmendriya to remove those and keep away from that source or that vishaya. So mana will order karmendriya hasta and hasta will be removed from that source. If within the fraction of this second, if I touch any very hot thing and I will, oh, this, in this fraction of second, these two processes are going on. One is called as savikalpak, another is called as nirvikalpak. So, and we are having in every second we are having those kind of processes. So for the maintenance of Manasa Swasthya, this processes also should be clear. And for those process, which Srotas is required or which is working? Manovaha Srotas. And in Unumada, this Srotas is vitiated. Or Apasmara, this Srotas is vitiated. Or any other Manas Vikara, this Srotas is Vikrutam. So the flow, for the flow of Vishayas, for the flow of those, what we can say, any energy source, you can name it any energy, this Srotas is required. That's why it is the Ayana Bhutam also and Adhisthana Bhutam also. And that's why this was my second point to think about for the working of Manaswasthya. The second point was Manovaha Srotas. And it's very important. Now, how we can maintain Manaswasthya, what are the tools to maintain the Manaswasthya, which can be described in the upcoming lectures in details. I am going to only give some points for the discussion and points for elaboration. Because in one lecture, we cannot cover everything. Next is, if you go to the reference of Nidra in the Sutra Sthan, chapter number 21, they have described the Nidra. Ashtoninditiya Adhyay, and in the Ashtoninditiya chapter, they had given the description of Nidra. Yada tu manasi klante karmatmanam klamanvitaha vishayabhyo nivartante tada swapiti manavaha. So this, what we have to take meaning from this in-depth meaning. Yada tu manasi klante, how mana will have the klanta avastha? Because when doshas are flowing all over the body, when dosha will have temporary sthana samshrayam at Manovaha Srotas, then mana will have the sluggish function. And that's why we describe it as it is a klanta. It is a tired now. How man will be tired? Because it is continuously working. So that's why he has some kind of only some kind of some for some time he want to rest, but he's not actually he's not having the rest. It is called as this kind of description is called as gunaropa. How, what is gunarop? We say the sun is now sunset is there. No, sunset is not having. Sun is already there in the universe. We are moving around him, but we are blaming to sun. If I am coming to Coimbatore through train, I will say, "Oh, see, Coimbatore is coming. Let's be there." Coimbatore is not coming, na? We are going to Coimbatore. Coimbatore is already there. Likewise, it is kind of speaking pattern is called as gunaropa. So, what is actually desired meaning of manasi klante? Manas is not stopping work. He's not stopped the work, but the doshas are there. Dosha is, they are not vitiated, but they are having flowing through the Manovaha Srotas, and that's why the function of the manas is sluggish for some time. Body should have to rest. That's why nidra will be there. So nidra and manas is have a close one relation, and that's why to maintain manaswasthya, nidra is very important. Proper good sound sleep is very important for the maintenance of manas swasthya. So if a person is having disturbed manas swasthya, the in first session we have to advise him that please take proper sleep. Keep mobile away, keep books away, keep things away. We will sort about it. Please have a sleep. And it is very important. So that's why this third point, that nidra for manaswasthya, is another key point for the practice. Then one another siddhanta which is described in the 20 chapter Maharogadhyay, that there are two kinds of vyadhis, Nija and Agantu. So Nija vyadhi means the vyadhis which are having origin in the body, and Agantu means there is a origin in the outside source, any virus or any outer things. Manas origin is, if manas vyadhi or the any hetu to disturb the manas swasthya can be termed, or it is already termed as agantu. They are agantus because mana is not the nija. Mana is also agantu. So that's why Agantu vyadhi, how we can assess the Agantu? Agantu hi vyatha purvam jamutpanno jaganyam vatapitta shleshmanam vaishamam apadet. So first, vyatha will be there. Disturbance will be there. So what is vyatha? Disturbance in the manaswasthya. Its manasa swasthya is disturbed now. And if you don't treat that manasa swasthya, then its bodily vatapitta shleshma, sharir doshas will get vitiated. If you don't treat manaswasthya, or the hetus which are troubling the manaswasthya, if you don't treat them, then the impact will be have on sharir doshas, and that samprapti will shift to the sharir. I want to share a case which I have seen. My father was treating that patient. One day my father said me, please come with me, we have to do a home visit. But my advice is, keep your mouth shut, don't ask me anything at their place. We will discuss about that patient later. What we went there, the home was like everything was silent, and all were like working in like a dead bodies. Everything a serious environment was there. And when we enter that room, I saw that a young girl, must be bright girl in her school days. Now she is around 25 or 26, a good looking girl, but she was like a pale and like a dead body. She was sitting there only, and she was looking in the like a shunya. शून्य में देख रही थी. She was not having any outer expressions or any, she was not responding to any outer sources. She was not eating well, she was not sleeping well, she was not doing anything. She was just sitting and looking at the wall. So my father checked her blood pressure, he examined her well, her tongue, her eyes, nails, but she was not speaking. Her father and mother, they were weeping also. And then father give some prescription and some advice, counsel them, and we return back. While returning, my father asked me, "What do you think? What kind of patient was that?" I said, "Baba, cancer was? Is she suffering from cancer?" My father said, "No." Then I said, "AIDS?" My father said, "No." I said, "Tuberculosis?" My father said, "No." I said, "I don't have, because I was doing UG. I don't know what she's suffering." My father said that she doesn't have any disease. She's absolutely healthy. Body, Sharira Swasthya is absolutely fine. What happened? She was in relationship with a boy from her school days. They were in relationship. They were couples and romantically involved. They when after their graduation, that boy moved to US for the job profile, and after moving there, they had planned that they will get married, and she will join him in the US. Everyone related to them know that they were engaged and they were going to marry. But after going to US, that boy uh, slowly stopped talking with her. At that time, there were no social media, no mobiles were, etc. Only phones were there, landline. No letters, no phones. And one bad day, he sent her a letter that, "Please forgive me. I had married here with a US girl for the green visa, and now you must forget me and live your life your own." That shock was so much that she stopped everything, and she stopped eating, stopped sleeping. That shock was very much grave to her. And after some days, when I saw her, she died also because of that shock. She never come up from that shock. So no Sharir Vyadhi, only Manasa Vyadhi was there. Only Manasa thing. Vyatha is there. And because of Vyatha, the doshas are vitiated. Vata, Pitta, Shleshmas are vitiated. Now, what is the treatment of such kind of cases? Counseling is the first part of treatment, and many other things which are described in Samhitas. But we have to think about it is a disturbed Manaswasthya. It was a totally core Manas Swasthya related thing. So that's why this Siddhanta is very important. That if you don't treat the Mana Vyatha, that is the disturbed Manaswasthya, then the Sharir doshas will be vitiated, and you have the picture that a Sharir Vyadhi is there. So that's why we have to think about, and we should know the boundaries between Sharir Vyadhi, Manas Vyadhi, Sharir Manas Vyadhi, Manas Sharir Vyadhi, Karmaj Vyadhi, Atmaj Vyadhi, hereditary diseases, and congenital diseases. All are different diseases. So that's why this is the actual disease type, but origin into the Manasa Swasthya. And that's why this is another point of discussion, that Nija and Agantu. So we don't think only Manasa Vyadhi, because Mana is inside the body, and that's why we have to think about the body and Manas all together. That's why there is another Siddhanta called Tridanda. Tridanda Siddhanta is described in, I'm not showing in any reference, it is in first chapter. And they say that this is the Adhikarana of Ayurveda. 1 by 46. 1 by 40. Let's see the reference. सत्वम आत्मा शरीरम च त्रयम एतत् त्रिदंडवत लोकः तिष्ठति संयोगात तत्र सर्वं प्रतिष्ठितम स पुमां चेतनं तच्च अधिकरणं श्रुतं वेदस्य अस्य अधिकरणं स्मृतं तदर्थम ही अयम वेदो संप्रकाशिकता. This Veda means Ayurveda is prakashitam for described for sattva atma sharir. So we cannot see the sharir is different or only one sharir. Atma is already there and mana is inside the sharir. And that's why it is a tridanda. And we have to treat that tridanda. Atma is beyond our treatment pattern. But we can treat the sattva or we can maintain the manaswasthya also. The famous sutra, this is samadosha samagnisha samadhatu malakriyaha prasanna atma indriya manaha swasthya ityabhidhyate. Now we can treat the doshas and being there to sama avastha. We can treat the agni and keep it as an sama agni. We can treat dhatu, mala and kriya and be the sama. But what about prasanna atma indriya mana? Here atma means not the soul. Atma means dehaha. Here we always take wrong meaning that prasanna atma means prasanna soul or atma tattva. No, here atma means deha. See the reference. Atma iti deha. Can you see the reference in the commentary? In this context, atma, meaning of atma word is a sharir, not the soul. And atma word used many places in the Samhitas for sharir. I can show many references, 2-3 references I can show, but this is not the topic, today's topic. Here Atma means Sharira. That's, and what is Prasanna? Prasanna means not happy. Prasannaha. Prakarashena sannaha iti prasannaha. Means there are no disturbances or no vitiation, no vikrutis, no disease state in Sharir, that is Prasanna Atma. Prasanna Indriya, there are no disease state in the Indriya level. And Prasanna Man mean there are no disturbances in any pattern of Manaswasthya or no disease state in the Manas level also. Then only we can term it as a Swastha. Atma is not in the even there. He is there already, and he is only Sakshi. He cannot be Prasanna. He cannot be sad. He cannot be happy. He is out of that. All these feelings. All the feelings are there for it. They are related to Man and Buddhi. Atma doesn't have any feeling. No, he is just Sakshi, just Nirvikaraha. He doesn't have any vikara. So Prasanna Atma means Prasanna Sharir, Prasanna Indriya, and Prasanna Mana is the key of this sutra. Every translation of this sutra, they had written the translation in wrong manner. So that's why we have to think about that. So for how we can assess the Manaswasthya, Charak has given the assessment points in the Vimanasthan 8th chapter, Rogabhishek chapter, for the assessment of Manaswasthya, that is Satvataha Parikshan in the 8 by 119. Actually, the Adhikarana of this Dashavidha Pariksha is Atura Pariksha. But with the help of Tantra Yukti, Atidesh Tantra Yukti, or we can say Hitvarda Tantra Yukti, we can apply it to the normal person also. And Satvata Parishan is described. This is not the today's topic, but think about that. This can be a part of assessment of Manaswasthya. And to assess the patient's Manaswasthya, we have to take this meaning also. Then Charak Sharir Sthan is, sorry, in the same chapter, Manas 89 and 90. In the Dashavit Pariksha only, Karyam Dhatu Samyam. What is our function? What is our main achievement? We have to achieve Dhatu Samya. What is Dhatu? Dhatu means not Rasa to Shukra. Dhatu means any particle of the body which is in normal state is called as Dhatu. So we have to maintain the Dhatu Satmya. And what is its characteristic of Dhatu Samya? First is the Vikaropashama. Okay, but is it only Vikaropashama is the only one Lakshana? No. How we can assess Dhatu Samya? They are given some symptoms that Rugupashamanam. Now we have, as we don't have any another Samhita for assessment of Manaswasthya, we have to take these references in the context of Manaswasthya. That Rugupashamanam, Rug means any ruja or any disturbances having in Manas. Manaswasthya is disturbed. Vyadhi is not there. Atura avastha is not there. No, any disease state is not there. But ruja is there. I'm not feeling well. I'm feeling hurt. I'm I'm feeling neglected. I'm feeling alone. I'm feeling what we can say. I'm angry. I'm feeling angry. It is ruja. So these rujas are upashamana. They are normalized with any pattern, either by intervention or any. But disease is not there. But ruja is there. So lakshana is there. So it is also dhatu samya. Swara varna yoga. If a person is having disturbed manaswasthya, first impact will be on his varna. Why? Because skin is adhisthana of which mahabhuta? Vayu. Vayu mahabhuta. And Vayu is Gatishila and it is related to the Manas. There is a sutra in Vaidya Subhashit Sahitya. Please go through it because it is not described in Ayurvedic Samhita. I don't have remember the reference. I just remember the sutras. Manaha nishchalam, vataha nishchalam. Manaha chale, vataha chale. Nishchalam nishchalam bhavet. If you want to control your mind, you have to control your Vayu. If you control vata, your vata dosha, then your mana will be controlled and its swasthya will be maintained. So to maintain the mana swasthya, you have to cure your vata adhishthanas and you have to keep normalize your Vayu. Vayu vata dosha means not only the apana Vayu, all the Vayus. That's why Swara Varna Yoga. Sharir Upachaya. Sharir Upachaya is also related to the Manaswasthya. If a person is having disturbed Manaswasthya, its Upachaya means his Sanghanan of the body will be also damaged. Then Bala Vruddhi, if I am feeling happy and my Manas Swasthya is good, then I will have Bala. I will work anything. Just think about who have been in that phase. If you have proposed anyone and if that person said yes, you can conquer the world. You have that kind of feeling. I can conquer the world now. That is balavruddhi. Balav is not only the power, muscle power. No, I can do anything now. That is manaswasthya. Then abhyavahar, I have to the feeling of hunger is also there. Then ruchir ahara kale abhyavrutasya chaharasya, all can be correlated. Yes, I will conclude my session now. All we can have correlate these sutras or these what we can say these references to the manaswasthya. See the last line, sarvakaraihi mano buddhi indriyanam avyapatti. There will be no any disease state in the manasa level. Last reference I want to show related to this thing is a Sharir Sthanam, chapter number 6. We always neglect Sharir Sthan of Charak Samhita, but it is very, very important for the Chikissa. See, this is a Swastha Vruttam Dhatunam, Samyanugrahartam. These are symptoms. Swastha, Swamas and Swastha Vruttam. First is Deshakala Atma Guna Viparitanam, Karmanam Ahar Vikaranam Kraya Upayoga, Sarvati Yoga Sandharanam, असंधारणम उदीर्णानाम गतिमताम साहसानाम च वर्जनम. ये स्वस्थ वृत्त. This is a स्वस्थ वृत्त. So thus we have to assess this sutra with the help according to the context of manaswasthya. Here again see the tika atma shabdena iha sharira muchyate. Next reference where atma shabda is described for the body. That's why reading of Samhita is very critical. You don't have to take the literal meaning. You have to go into the depth and use the adhikaran. So that's why we have to take this Swastha Vrutta as a Manaswastha Vrutta also. They are describing the Swastha Vrutta, na? So Swastha Vrutta will be two, Sharir Swastha Vrutta and Manaswastha Vrutta. So related to the Manas, this have to describe. So if in next lecture someone can be speak on this Manaswastha Vrutta, or if I have given another chance in upcoming lectures, I can speak on in detail only this sutra we will explain it. And next, in the next sutra, in the same chapter, sutra number 12, Sharira Vruddhikar Bhavaha. Here, four Sharira Vruddhikar Bhavas are there: Kala Yog, Swabhava Sansiddhi, Ahara Saushtava, and Avighat. And in the description of Avighat, they are saying that Sharira Vruddhi, Vighatakara, Ati Vyavaya, Mano Abhighatadi Viraha. Means there is no Mano Abhighat, means no disturb Manaswasthya, then the Sharira Vruddhi will be there. There is no Mano Abhighat. And that's why. And now the last reference and last point which I have to describe, to maintain the Manaswasthya, we have to do the Sadvrutta, and for the Sadvrutta, they had given Dashavidha Papakarma, Sutra number 21-22. The last point to describe. And in this Dashavidha Papakarma, 4 are Vachik Papakarma, 3 are Kayika Papakarma, and 3 are Trividam Manasam Papakarma. Vyapad first means Prani Upaghata Chinta. We have to think about we have to, means in the mind only, that we are thinking that someone will get punished. That is Vyapad. He will not suffer. Your Manaswasthya will get disturbed. Abhidya, Paragunadi Asahishnutta. If a person is doing some good thing, or if he is having praising or having some award for his work, if we are having that Asahishnutta for his Paraguna, his qualities, then he will do his work his own, but we will suffer. Our Manaswasthya will suffer. And third is Drug Viparyam, means Shastra Drushti Viparityam, Nastikatvadi. And it is a Manasa Papakarma. Charak says that in the Sutrasthanam 11 chapter. Yeah, I am concluding. Last one. I will not show the reference. I will stop sharing. Charak says in the Tisre Shaniya chapter that there are two bad things any person can do. First is a Nastikya Buddhi, and second is a just a minute. We have to avoid those two things, that Vichikissa means Sanshay, and Nastikya Buddhi means negativity. So we have to avoid the negativity, and we have to avoid the always having Sanshaya on each and everything. So they will disturb your Manaswasthya. So today we have discussed about 5 things. First, there is a Manovaha Srotas, which should be discussed about Manaswasthya. Then Mana is a Atmajbhav. He is a traveler, and he is traveling from one body to another body. So related to the Manaswasthya, we have to think about that. If he is having any previous threats or threats also for disturbance of Manaswasthya, we have to think about that. Third is a Nidra. Fourth is a Sharir Vyadhis can be converted into Manas Vyadhi, and Manasa Swasthya can be disturbed, and then it will create another Sharir bodies. That Siddhanta is described. And then lastly, we have think about the Sharira Vruddhikar Bhav, Manaswastha Vrutta, and Vichikissa and Nastikya Buddhi. So thank you very much. I know I take some more time, and sorry for, because this topic is so huge and very much important. So I keep talking. So that's why. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mala Kapadia ji, for inviting me in this lecture series. Thank you, all the organizers, and especially Srija ma'am for this session series and inviting me here. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sir, thank you for the session. But let's go into the question that we have here. So there is a question by Rangashri, and the question is: if Manovikaram is not Adhikarana of Ayurveda, why Ragadirogan is mentioned in the first sutra of Ashtanga Hridaya? What was the need of explaining the Dhridi Dhairya Atmadi Vijnana?
Good question. Ragadi Rogan. Raga means love. Raga here in this sutra, Raga means love, and these, as I discussed, these Manas Bhavas are not treated well. They can cure the Sharira Vyadhis. We have discussed that. I have given the reference of Charak Sutrasthana chapter 20. Even there are so many references. If you don't treat the Manasa Bhavas, or if you don't control the, because it is the Dharaniya Vegas, na? They are the Dharaniya Vegas, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Shoka, Moha. Even in the Charak Samhita, chapter number 7, they had given that it is a Dharayat Vegan, and they had given a Shasta Manas Karma. A Shasta Manas Karma, not, it is not a disease, but a Shasta Manas Karma. Because of lack of time, I skipped that reference, but because of your question, we will discuss. Lobha, Shoka, Bhaya, Krodha, Mana, Vegan, Vidharayet. Nairlajya, Irsha, Atiraganam. Ragadi Rogan, you asked the question Atirag. So, Atiraganam, Abhidhyasya Buddhiman. So, these Buddhiman person should avoid this. See, we cannot delete those emotions, but you have to control those emotions, or divert those emotions. And that's why in the first part of Ashtanga, first sutra of Ashtanga, says that it is very critical to control these things. And those Vaidyas are controlling, we are praying them. Ragadi Rogan, Satatanushaktan, Asheshakaya, Prasudan Asheshan, Autsukya Moha, Aratidan Jagana, who is killing those or controlling those things and not diverting it into the any disease state, that Vaidya is Apurva Vaidya. Swasthya Rakshanam means who that Vaidya will maintain the Manaswasthya also, he is Apurva Vaidya. That's why that sutra is described.
Thank you, sir. Very nice class. One more question, sir. Should Manas Rogas be considered as Swatantra Roga or Paratantra Roga? I think you have already
we can.
talked about it. Yes.
If we have to write the Manasa Samhita, we have to write it according to the Sharira Vyadhis. Swatantra Vyadhis, Paratantra Vyadhis. Even the Hetus are also Swatantra and Paratantra.
Thank you, sir. Actually, I think we can conclude the sessions and continue this discussion when we will have the next Manaswasthya workshop.
I think
So as we
Malaji asked me a question here. She asked me that Dashavidha Papa Karma by pregnant woman, will they affect the fetus? Yes, absolutely they will affect the fetus, but it will be not on the Mana Atmash Bhav or Sattvash Bhav. They will we can add them in the Rasaj Bhav, because whatever happening in during the 9 months of that fetal life, they will have that effect. I have seen a patient that that was unwanted child, and the girl was unwanted, unplanned child was that, and her mother, she always felt disconnected with her mother. She always felt that I'm not, my mother never loves me. And when we go into that first she treated psychologically, as it is a psychological disease. She treated as a patient. But when we discuss with her mother and how a counseling session was there, mother says that she was actually unplanned. I love her, but in during my 9 month, I have continuously in my mind, I have that I don't want this child. I wanted to do some another work, but now it is, I am pregnant now, I have to keep that. That effect was on the fetus, and she was suffering now. So this can have effect.
Thank you, Abhijeet. Wonderful session. And I know today you are having a very difficult day. You have to rush to the hospital for your daughter. And still, you have come here and so interestingly shared your thoughts with everyone. Few questions I have, but we'll keep it for some other time. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I thank everyone who's participating. I do see some non-Ayurveda counselors and psychologists here. And they are also sending me personal messages that they are benefiting a lot from these lectures. So I think Ayurveda practitioners need to have more confidence that Manaswasthya, we all can contribute a lot. It's just that there are no ready-made material that, okay, this Sutra Manaswasthya. Abhijit has to explain to you how this will relate to Manaswasthya. So you don't have a ready-made plate which is full of food, but you'll have to cook yourself from the available ingredients.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Wonderful. Dhanyavadaha.
Yes,
Dr.
sir.
Shrita?
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, I think as Ayurveda doctors, our biggest struggle is separating the Deha from Dehi, because we always understand them together, and to separate and see them in very different ways in the concept of Vyadi is something that we all need to learn to do. And I hope that our Manaswasthya learning series and Manaswasthya symposiums will be the way to go about that. Thank you, sir, once again for your clarity, your depth, and for your lived wisdom that you shared with all of our participants today. So we are happy to share that the next Manaswasthya symposium will come this year. So keep in touch. We will let you know as the dates are decided. And until then, we will continue to carry this dialogue forward through our monthly Manaswasthya learning series. So thank you all for joining and being part of this growing community of inquiry and practice. Have a good
Thank you.
evening. Dhanyavad.